Hello and welcome to another horrific review. I'm joined again by Chris as we continue our journey along the Graboid trail. Tonight we're discussing Flora or Fauna and Graboid rights from the Tremors TV series. Created in 2003, the show picks up where Tremors 3 left off. Follows the people of perfection as they attempt to coexist with the Graboid El Blanco. Chris, welcome back. It's been a wee minute since we've done one of these.
I know. I've missed this, man. It's been too long.
We're getting near the end.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
One more of these ago. We're like right there. 3 more episodes after this.
Yeah. I sort of. Hey, what's up, Levi?
Am I pissed off about Graboid rights episode? Do you get any hint of that in the notes?
Yeah, and it's good that Levi's been paying attention when the viewers know ahead of time which episodes.
What's going to annoy Colin this time? Oh, it's like people know me. I don't know.
I sort of wish we watched these in opposite order because Flora or Fauna was great, and I think it would have been better if we ended on that one.
Yeah. So obviously tonight, Flora or Fauna and Graboid rights. Oh my god. This is gonna be polar opposites. God. Yeah, Flora or Fauna, great episode. We're back with the Mixmaster storyline. I like this storyline.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like anytime Mixmaster gets involved. I feel like that was a great addition to the TV show, and you know, it could have played out for season after season. There's no limit to what combination of creatures you could have come up with and what it did to people. So anytime Mixmaster comes in, I'm into it.
It's not overshadowing the series. It's just the right balance, and they've just kept that. Just drip it in every so often. There you go. There's your refresher.
Yeah,
we've got the elements here, like almost rinse and repeat every season. You know what I mean? You've got the Twitchell missions. You've got something happening with El Blanco, and then you've got the Mixmaster episodes.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's enough there for plenty of fresh content.
And I don't think it contradicts the movie canon, because up until this point, you had just movies 1, 2, and 3, and each one introduced a different type of creature between the original Graboid, the Shrieker, and then the Ass Blaster.
Mm-hmm.
Always funny to say that, but so it kind of is in keeping with that there would be a different creature, you know, every couple episodes with Mixmaster. It just keeps, you know, going along that same canon.
Yeah. The worst thing to do would just be to try and, you know, beat the Graboid to death with more variations. That would have been the wrong way to go.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Ass Blaster 2, here's Ass Blaster Shrieker hybrid. You know what I mean? That would have got silly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But
or the Queen Graboid, like they did in Tremors 7.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Sorry. Still traumatized by that movie. Jeez,
I shouldn't have mentioned that.
That's it. You ever want to devolve me into a Shudder and Wreck, just mention that horrible movie? It's like, oh God, no.
Tremors 7 is up there on this channel in the Hall of Shame, right there with the Easter Bunny one. What was the
Easter Bunny?
Easter Bunny.
The Curse of Humpty Dumpty.
Curse of Humpty. There we go. That's the trifecta.
That's the level of absolute pile of crap. And there's been a few others along the way, but that one's and unfortunately I can't put the Slumber Party Massacre up there because too many people disagree with me. It's like, okay, fine. I'll go with democracy for once. Yeah, sort of first thing. When is the overhyper salesman pitch ever convinced anybody? When has that ever worked?
Well, you're barking up the wrong tree, because I'm the person that always, like, when someone knocks at the door and like, oh yeah, I have something to sell, I'm like always the person that like has a hard time saying no. I'm like, all right, come on in. I know you're working hard. You know, you want something to drink. So I'm kind of the sucker. So you're probably
all right.
Probably talking about me.
Mine is just instant revulsion.
Yeah,
that's just my reaction. Is like, Like
Yeah.
the odd time my phone rings with a sales call, I just get raged. I'm just like, I hate you. If I could reach down this phone and throttle you, no, I'm just like, deep. You know, and they're throwing the phone against walls and stuff. I'm like, why do you invade my personal space, bastard?
That's right. That's right.
You want it? I'll look for it. The salespeople, and they're the scummiest types, the proper weasels.
But
Like,
I have a quick story about telemarketers. So when I was a kid, my parents said that if anyone called and they weren't home, like if they had to, my dad was working, my mom had to run to the store for a second, and I was home. I was probably like 6 or 7. They said if someone calls, don't say that you're home alone. If they ask for your parents, just say that your mom is in the shower, something like that. So they just they don't know that you're alone. So a telemarketer called up and they said, "Where's your mom?" And he said, "She's in the shower." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Can I talk to your dad?" I was like, "He's in the shower too." And the guy's like, "How long will they be?" And I said, "A long time." And just click. So the telemarketers learned quickly not to call my house anymore.
I know people, good friends, that love to wind them up. And I just don't have the energy for wind them up on the other end. They'll be like, "Oh, what are you wearing? You have to tell me what you're wearing," and they put it in speakerphone, and we're all like, I just don't have the energy for that because I'm just like, nah. I just don't believe in. Same with scammers as well. On our Rumble channel at the moment, we're getting loads of copy and paste scammers. "Hi, I love your content, and I just noticed you need more subscribers. Reach out to me on random email and WhatsApp." And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Not happening.
It's true. You can tell a bot from a mile away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, if you've watched this content, you know it's shit, and we embrace the fact it's shit. How dare you say great, good stuff? You'll be saying it's quality and thought-provoking next. It's like, do not insult me.
Yeah. We're all about quality over quantity. We got the best viewers, right, Levi? That's right.
See your seal code reviews of Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, nah. I'm just like, the odd time. I'm lucky where I live because you've like 2 security doors to get through, etc. So, and you have to go right to the end, so nobody's come near me unless you're really on a mission.
Right.
Don't get the casual passerby, and it's like, nah, go away from me. But yeah, we'll meet Larry, and now all of a sudden, that other episode makes sense.
It does, but it's another example of how it's like shot out of order. Like Tyler is meeting Larry for the first time, but he's already seen him before at least once, if not twice, right? When he had the handheld.
It was the intro,
one?
yeah.
Okay.
But it was just a clumsily inserted edit.
Yeah, but there's no way of watching this where you're gonna not run into some sort of continuity error like this. So it's just another example of how sci-fi or the producers, whoever was in charge of the filming schedule and airing it, just clearly did not get it right. Because I mean, Tyler should have recognized Larry. He clearly knew him from the other episode, but you couldn't watch this one first because Cletus was known. So you know what I mean? Like it's completely like convoluted.
It'd be like me taking this channel and like editing videos and then putting, like, we're going to talk about Tremors, and I'll put in Friday the 13th in the middle with a completely different guest.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what the hell is it? You know what I mean? How can you work in storytelling and get storytelling wrong? Like, These are professionals. These are highly paid professional people, allegedly.
Yeah.
And they fuck up the basics.
Yeah. I remain convinced that the way they aired it, the way the confusing storylines absolutely hurt their ratings. So you could say, well, maybe the pilot episode of the ratings weren't strong enough to begin with, even though from what I've read, they were very strong. I think it was like the number 2 show.
Wouldn't have got a season if it was a terrible pilot. It wouldn't have got a season.
Yeah, but after a few episodes, if people were really enjoying the storylines enough and then they were relaying it by word of mouth, there would have been more people. So I don't think you can make the argument that, well, the pilot wasn't strong enough. I mean, word of mouth is very powerful. So I feel like if they had aired this in a more gratuitous, way where it made more sense, I think they would have had more viewers and maybe the show would have succeeded. They definitely needed to give it more time because it's a lot of fun. And 13 episodes is not enough to make a determination. Firefly taught us that.
Mm-hmm. But they've done that before. Like, how many good shows have been canned, and yet utter drivel has been beaten to death, like 7 or 8 seasons in. What do you call that old Smallville?
Yeah.
They beat that thing to death. I mean, they beat the bloody rotten corpse of it to the point you're just like, would you put on the suit already and end this pain?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it was around about 7 or season 8 or something. That was like, would you just stop already and get to the end? You numpties. So they'll do something with the series like that, and they'll destroy their previous work.
Yeah. Lois Lane was a grandma by then, and it just got weird.
Yeah, it was like,
yeah.
Flip sake. But that's what they do. Entertainment doesn't seem to attract the brightest of minds, the entertainment industry.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, there's a massive push by Hollywood to try and squash YouTubers, by the way. They've finally twigged on that people on YouTube with an opinion have more sway than their whole corporate media, and they're now going through a push to try and quash YouTubers who disagree with their movies.
Oh, really?
It's
wow.
like, how about listen?
Yeah.
Here's an idea. How about listen? You'll stop losing money hand over fist, you idiots.
Yeah. You could get, real time reactions to movies, see what's working, what's not working, as opposed to relying on like a Rotten Tomatoes or some service where, people could buy, positive reviews and you're not actually like hearing from the people like YouTube.
So many fans watch series because of word of mouth. Yeah, word of mouth is still powerful. Friends talk.
Yeah.
And I made this point actually in a video I released there that upset someone on Facebook. I got a troll who was like trying to pick a fight and was like, okay. Word of mouth is powerful.
Yeah.
If you release a crap product and the word gets around that it's a crap product, guess what? People are like, oh, well, thanks for warning me. And don't bother watching. Why do you think people listen to reviewers? Especially now with, right, do I waste my time going to the cinema? Cinema is such a massive expense.
Yeah.
So people are like, should I go and watch this movie? And they're going to listen to a reviewer first, get a bit of a bead, and then they make a decision. So, and if enough people are saying the same thing and bringing up the same issues, then, oh, right, okay, I'm not going to enjoy this, or I am going to enjoy this. It works both ways.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And these corporate muppets are so terrified of the truth. They want to live in this little echo chamber bubble that, oh, nobody's going to hurt my fee-fees. It's like, get a grip.
Yeah.
If you sold kitchen furniture and the chair fell apart the minute you sat on it, or the table was lopsided, well, guess what? You don't get a good brand as a company. You don't get to call the customers who bought it bigots and racists and istophobes and all sorts because you've sold a kitchen table that goes like that and everything slides off the end. And, it's common sense.
That's true. Although I don't like you bringing up the chair breaking incident. It's too soon. Too soon.
Another time. I just remember I first put up a shelf. I was only like 12. I wanted something for my magazines in my bedroom. And I didn't know about, obviously, plugs and bolstering and drilling and stuff. And I thought a couple of like be enough.
Yeah.
And it was enough for a while until like the thing got half full. All of a sudden, crash.
Well, that's how you learned.
Well, that is exactly. But these people don't learn.
Yeah.
Do they go, oh, that's that'd be like me looking at that and going, oh, that's a manufacturer's fault.
Yeah.
And that's the person that, sold it to me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. But Larry, like, have you ever heard of Walmart? Assistant manager, trainee. That's my favorite line in this.
Oh my gosh, Larry's great. I could see why Levi had mentioned him in a previous episode. He's just a fun character that adds a lot. I was thinking, like, imagine if Larry was Bert's son, because I even made a joke about that.
Yeah.
I think he would have been so much better than who was it? Travis in movies 5 and 6.
Anything's better than the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, but I think that could have been a fun dynamic, because like Larry's like so like enthusiastic and apparently different than Bert, but yet at the end of the movie, end of the episode, he actually, not to.
There's Oliver and things.
Hey, what's up, Oliver? But at the end of the episode, not to jump too far ahead, but just briefly, he makes that move where he dives over the plant to save everyone. So it would be kind of cool if, like, the nature versus nurture thing, like, because of his environment, he's become like very different than Bert, and he's into, kind of like an Instagrammer type, where he's like taking pictures of everything, and he's like a tourist. But in the end, underneath, he's actually like a hero. Just
He'll
like
make
Bert
that
is.
call. That's the cool thing about this series is the characterizations.
Yeah.
There's no two-dimensional character. Well, yes, but we'll get to that.
Almost no.
Yeah, there's almost no two-dimensional characters. Everyone has a bit of nuance to them,
right?
And that's a good thing. The initial what might put you off annoying quality, then sort of translates into something else, a virtue, sort of a virtuous nature about them, and that's the feel-good show at the end of the day.
Oh,
with
absolutely.
With a bit of blood and gore and people getting eaten alive and dissolved in acid. You know what I mean? But apart from that, it's a feel-good show.
Exactly.
But once again, we'll meet the antagonist of this movie. The sort of, is it a plant? Is it an animal sort of thing? And bloody hell, that first scene, and of course you've got numpties, and it always starts off in numpties in desert. We'll be fine. We're in Perfection Valley on our own. What could possibly go wrong?
Absolutely. I love how people just keep coming there. Like, you'd think like Bert would save himself a lot of trouble in rescuing people and just, put up a fence, but
also the body count of Perfection alone. Like, don't forget, we're only seeing the on-camera stuff, and there's a hint that this is like a weekly occurrence. Like, the body count of Perfection is ridiculous.
Yeah, because they have that form they have to fill out. Like, it's happened like so many times. They've created a pre-printed form where they just fill out.
You go into this valley, your life is forfeit. It's like tying a couple of like lamb chops around your neck.
Yeah,
and going in, like in South Florida, going in the gator pond. Like, wait.
Exactly.
It's the equivalent of that. Darwin awards are getting handed out left, right, and center, and of course, it's the clever scientists. The smart people. Oh, I'm the clever scientist type. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're not that. And that was actually quite a good scene, just getting dissolved.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought the effects were cool, and it happened quickly, and it brought some of the horror movie aspect into the show, because the show's been, I would say, more entertaining and fun than horror. Aside from that one episode where they were coming into the base, that was
the Night
cool.
of the Shriekers.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that should have been a movie.
That was great, right?
That should have been Tremors 5.
That's still my favorite episode, but this one's up there too. But yeah, like that horror element is kind of fun, and then not every episode has had it, but this one definitely did. It was
and it's good to remind ourselves that this is a horror franchise. It was based off a horror franchise. Yeah, it's lent into the comedy, but bringing that in as well and not overusing it. It's all about not overusing the elements.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm enjoying this series so far, because it's not all 100% slapstick comedy, which will get very exhausting. It's not all fluffy, feel-good stuff all the time, which will get annoying. It's not all campy horror all the time, which, too much of the one thing, you get sick of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's had a lot of diversity in these first 10 episodes that we've seen.
Oh, yeah, and when they do bring the horror side of it, it's brilliant. Like, the effects in this could rival any movie.
They're definitely better than Tremors 2. I think that was the one with the worst special effects I've seen.
Oh, when they first meet the Shriekers?
Yeah, great
Oh, yeah.
movie. Great movie, but the special effects in that were
Those
pretty
things were
terrible.
horrendous.
Yeah. It went from live action to like a cutscene of like a 1983 like Amiga
Beep,
computer
beep, beep.
screen. Yeah.
Rawr! Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
And then the character's going boing, boing. Although the sniper rifles, the Barrett 50 cal scene, that was fantastic.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. For sure.
But yeah, they're doing really well with the effects and just the dissolving the body, the proper old school physical prop skeleton with bone and meat.
And then the skeleton falls over like that. It's great steaming and stuff like that. Yeah.
But one thing they've mastered in this series is the camera shake.
Yeah. I like that that's become like a signature effect of the show. Almost like the 1960s Batman TV show with the tilted camera or Star Trek with the light.
Original series.
Yeah, where it had like the lighting. Anytime there was a female officer, there would be like the special lighting in Star Trek. Like certain TV shows have like a specific signature camera effect or camera element where you could like pick it out right away. Like this is a Star Trek episode, or if the camera is sideways, this is a Batman episode. Like I think the camera shake is Tremors' like signature, effect.
And it works because it's cheap and effective, and rather than throwing dodgy CGI on this game, we're over doing it and then making us like immune by doing it just slightly off camera. We get that bit of horror as well, and then they're able to do more of it in the right order, in the right sort of quantity.
Yeah, for sure.
And what was it? Game of Thrones. Oh, we need more budget for CGI dragons, and then everything else went to pot. For
they ran out
3 scenes of a CGI dragon. Like, where'd all the budget go, lads? This 5 seconds. Where's your budget for the rest of the episode? Oh, right. Do I have to do that?
That's the untold story of Game of Thrones. They couldn't afford an editor. That's why the coffee cup is there. Because they used all their research, their budget on the dragons.
Imagine like not even having a basic rule of, right, you're about to walk on set. Nothing else goes past this point. It's medieval.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Levi is saying that the person who worked on it, the CGI artist, was the same one that worked on Tremors 2. But I guess the technology got better, or he got better.
Yeah. How long has it been since Tremors 2? And what? 7? No, quite a few years anyway. You don't do the same standard. You know what I mean? If you don't grow as a person, especially as a creative, and get better, then what are you doing? So obviously,
at least 10 years, I would think, right? From Tremors 2 to
Phil Tippett. Was it Phil Tippett did this? Oh wow, he's a master as well. Oh, if anyone has a Shudder subscription, check out Mad God. Like there's a 30-year project in the making.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, 30 years he took to make a stop animation movie.
Wow.
As a side project, amongst other things.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, he is a dedicated, special effects guy. But but we also know as well, you can be as creative as you want, but if you don't have the budget or the help of the technology, then what can you do? You do the best of what you got. Right. I think then he's obviously learned from Tremors 2 and decided, oh, right, I got to make this better. And also, if he's been involved in this, that makes the, God, what episode was it? Where we actually get the call back to Jurassic Park with the Graboids and the cages. Like, that was an absolute callback to Jurassic Park 2. And the same sort of techniques.
Right.
And that was vastly superior to Tremors 2.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's come a long way. Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. There's how to do less and more. This is from the Peter Jackson school of filmography. Okay, don't have a budget. What they do to make it look as best as possible. And there's nobody like that anymore. Robert Eggers, sorry, the only person I'll put on that pedestal in today's genre of filmmaking is Robert Eggers.
Okay.
He does the most that he can with whatever. He doesn't just work with small budget movies, but he has independent The Witch is like one of the definitive horror movies, in fact, storytelling movies of all time, and at a minuscule budget, but that would rival any big budget production. The
Gotcha.
Northman, like Rhoda, is absolutely fantastic in terms of looks and aesthetics and actual you're transported in that world.
Hmm.
The Lighthouse is a weird one, but it's still you know what I mean, you step into that universe.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's the only person, director wise. If anyone else can think of suggestions, sure. But yeah, but he's the only one I can think that's on the sort of Peter Jackson, Phil Tippett level of, well, you know, actually create art. They'll do whatever they can to make the thing and take you into the world. And what this episode does, it takes you into the world. Like, it's a TV show, but you don't get that TV show vibe.
Right.
This is reminding me back to the old days of like the A-Team and Airwolf and stuff. You know,
That's
where like a TV show was a spectacular.
Yeah, that's a good call. I love the
Where,
A-Team as a kid. Yeah.
yeah, you know, you don't get those sort of shows anymore. They don't have the budget for it. They
Yeah.
don't have the story telling ability. You know, they were like mini movies. Every episode like a mini movie with all what they had.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can laugh at some of the stuff back now, but back in the day, like that, you know what I mean? There were better episodes put out in TV than actual movies.
Yeah, and in some ways, the series is superior to the movies because when you go from any sequel, they're always trying to make it bigger, better. As a lot of times, it's a different cast because it's not realistic to have someone 7 years ago still be available, or even to want to bring all the same people back for the storyline. With this, it's the same group episode to episode. There's something very appealing to that, familial. It's like, you have like the same, close group of people that you're getting to watch on a serialized basis. It's very endearing. It brings me back. Even TV shows today are not like that, where it's
That's why to watch them, honestly.
yeah.
Like, it takes a lot for me to watch a TV show.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, you've got that sort of groundness, and that's that investment that makes enhances the enjoyment. So the fact that there's actually an effort being made with the effects, but I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Please, it's not hard to, and once again, this is not hard to please people, is it?
Right.
You just have to put a bit of effort in, get the storytelling right, get the characterization, and then everything else. If you create that sort of, this is our energy that we're putting out, you'll attract the right people. Because especially creative folks, they tend to, there's money, there's prestige and fame, but generally creative types are attracted to a certain energy. If they think they're going to, be part of something and leave a legacy, they'll be attracted to that.
Yeah.
The right sort of creative. The ones that are hacks, that don't just make things for the sake of being famous, they're going to go, they go to the stuff that they go to. But when you've got a certain energy, and there is a certain energy about this show, and I think the fact that Christopher Lloyd has been back now for, what's this, the third time?
I think so, yeah.
Like, he could have just been a one and done.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's a returning character, someone like him who does have options and doesn't have to do this, a paycheck isn't going to, oh, do you want to be in a shitty TV show? No, thanks. I'll go to a comic book convention and I'll get more money in a weekend, doing photographs than spending X number of hours a day on set. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He adds so much credibility, and it's very cool to see Michael Gross have someone of his caliber, because I do feel, although everyone on the show is great, I do feel that Michael Gross is a step above as an actor. And it's nice to have Christopher Lloyd there just to kind of play off of. I love their scenes together. I just think there's so much. There wasn't as much of it in this episode as there was the previous one, but Christopher Lloyd just adds so much credibility and gravitas to the episode. And I just, I love when he shows up. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And
it fits in, it fits in. Sorry, go ahead.
He is I'm sorry, I was going to say, he's like the epitome of the likable mad scientist. Like, if you put that in in a dictionary, like, that's likable mad scientist is him. No one else could play that to the same way, you know?
No, and there was a sneaky Back to the Future reference in this.
I was picturing, I know you put in the notes, it was great. You said, what'd you say? Like it was about time or something like that, or it was just a matter of time. Yeah, I feel like the writers probably had like 30 different lines they've been trying to get in every time he shows up on screen. And like the director is like, okay, we get it. No. And then finally he's like, all right, I'll let you have one. You can put that last line in the episode in, but no more.
Yeah.
There's so many jokes you could do.
You know, somebody wants him to say Great Scott at some point. You know, someone's busting to get him to say that.
Yeah. You know, the writer writes in a character whose name is Scott, who gets eaten by the Graboid. And then Cletus, they're like, looking at Cletus, what are you going to say? He just got eaten. I won't say it.
Yeah. Do you know what? If that's done for a bit of banter behind the scenes, I'm all for that. You know, as long as there's a self-awareness.
Yes. That's the kind of humor that I relate to, and I'm happy that you relate to it too.
His face not like because it was 100% self-aware.
Yeah.
Oh God, here we go again.
It's so good. It's so good.
And yeah, Larry might be annoying, but at least he isn't annoying as an Instagrammer. Like this is the beginning of like the social media age and vlogs, but he's nothing compared to like 90% of the Muppets going about on Instagram today. That is an absolute trash pile.
Yeah, there's something so endearing about him, and I think Levi touched on it in the chat, and he's mentioned before that Levi likes the character Larry as well. He's just very enthusiastic, but he's respectful, which is different than like your typical Instagrammer today.
Who was it? God, who was the character of Tremors 2? Completely rubbed me up the wrong way.
Oh geez.
I even forget his name.
Yes.
There's that many. The problem with the TV or the films is that there are that many disposable characters brought in for 5 minutes, thinking they were going to be the next big thing, and then it was like, right, you're not working. Next. That's what the Tremors movies feel like. Right? No, they're getting like the 2 action figures. Right? You're no good. Woof. Right? Put you. No.
The one they tried to make into like a Kevin Bacon archetype, right? Yeah.
Like that was irritating. Where Larry, you can see past that.
Yeah, he's just very enthusiastic.
Oh, Grady Hoover, yeah.
God. Grady, Levi, you rock. Yeah, Grady, exactly. So yeah, I mean Larry, he's very enthusiastic and respectful. Like when Bert tells him to stay, like of course he wants to come along, but he does stay in the van. Like if they made this TV show today, he would be like cursing, Bert Gummer. He would be like sneaking away right away. He would be like saying,
he'd be a girl boss. He wouldn't be a bloke.
Or he'd be a girl boss, and
he'd be a girl boss that would be told not what to do by no man.
Right? Yeah. Don't mansplain to me about being eaten by a graboid, and then she'd run off. So he was very respectful. He listened. He was excited to see Bert, which I always like to see, because Bert is a national treasure. Damn it! So I like to see when the characters in the show, are excited to see Bert. I think that's awesome. So I really like Larry. I don't know if he comes back in these last 3 episodes, but I would like to see it.
God, and I forgot her name. The doctor would get introduced to in this, who's Discount Rosalita.
Casey Matthews?
Yes, right. Yeah, Discount Rosalita.
Hey, I got one, Levi. Yeah.
It's like, we've already got a Rosalita on the show. Go away. She's trying to be all, oh, look at me, I'm so pretty and I'm so competent, and then 2 scenes later Rosalita appears like she's completely forgot about it. Like,
yeah,
know your place, woman. Know your packing order, and it's not here.
Well, if the hill you want to die on is there's too many attractive women on the show, you're going to be on that one alone, my friend.
It was just the introduction, here's the next one. It's like, no, you're always going to play second fiddle. Sorry.
That's true. Yeah. She's no Rosalita.
Nobody thought about using steel plates before. Like, that's actually a fair one in this.
Well, the best thing that was hilarious to me is that they mentioned on the show they're 3-inch steel plates. So, listen, I've spent the last 30 years trying to convince my wife that 3 inches is plenty, but we all know that's not true. 3-inch steel plates are not stopping a graboid from coming through. That's ridiculous. 3-inch. What is that going to do? It's just going to eat right through them. We've seen the graboid eat through the floors at Chang's. We've seen it a million times in the show where it'll eat right through the floor. So the fact that this scientist thought that was that steel plate was going to keep them safe is
unfortunately didn't have the budget to have steel plates blow everywhere.
Yeah.
Just El Blanco boing, and because there would have been, plus it wasn't a huge steel plate which would have had to be helicoptered in. With sectional steel plates, so you've got the
right
in between them. So
El
Blanco was through the middle, and those plates were going everywhere. But sadly, we didn't have the budget.
That would have been great. Yeah,
I thought she was going to be a narrating character, but she turned out to be all right.
Yeah, I like that. She even said, like, we're not running a secret operation. Come by anytime. I know she was hitting on Tyler, but still, the fact that it was not like this evil organization for once. Trying to do, secret experiments on the graboids, like that woman a few episodes ago with the shriekers, the female scientist who was trying to do that government operation.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
Yeah, so like this,
I'm so happy she died.
Yes, yeah,
that was I like it when they get their comeuppance.
Yeah, so I like Casey Matthews. I thought she was a different.
And then it all changed like when the two scientists got like dissolved and they didn't call back. All of a sudden, maybe we're not safe. Maybe we better listen to the experts. And then there's that level of respect, which I think is fantastic about this series. It's not trying to denigrate the main characters.
Right.
They think they know everything until they encounter something, and then it's like, oh shit, we're out of our depth here. And the rest of them are just like, yeah, this is a Tuesday. Yeah, let's go through the motions, sort of thing.
Yeah.
What are we figuring out this time? What's trying to kill us this time?
Exactly. Although the background characters aren't exactly the smartest. Like the two scientists who went to study at night in pitch black after the other two scientist friends had just been burned alive like the day before by acid. Maybe you don't want to do that at midnight alone. I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah. But that's movie set. That's TV.
Yeah, it's fun.
Funny enough, one of my main complaints about Prometheus, seeing that caused a bit of a stir lately, whereas the so-called smart people are dumb as hell. Oh, they're the thing that looks like a cobra. I'm going to go and poke at it because that's what you do.
Makes sense.
Yeah, there's an animal I've never encountered before. Yeah, I'm just going to go and poke at the thing and not ask any of the locals, even though that was in space, but still, let's observe from a distance.
Yeah. Observation, right? That's what scientists are supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Not poking. That's what dummies like me are about. Scientists supposed to be smarter.
Well, apparently not. And plus, anyone who's seen Prince of Darkness understands too. I love that movie. Everyone starts off, I'm big brain, 3 PhDs. Well, I'm big brain, 5 PhDs. I'm big brain, 20 PhDs, blah, blah, blah. And then they all do dumb stuff throughout the movie. And die horribly. It's so fun.
That's awesome.
Right. But yeah, talking about the acid effects, like that, I think these are some of the better done effects in any TV show, not just this one. I'm borderline quite a lot of movies.
Yeah, I thought they were cool. I will say when I first heard because you don't see the acid at first, like in the beginning, you're seeing it from like the perspective of like the creature, and then you hear like that sound and stuff like that. It sounded very familiar to me, and it got me thinking, Colin.
Did you happen to have formulated a theory?
This is my theory face. Yes, a crazy theory.
Chris's crazy theory face. This is my theory. There are many like it, but this one is mine. It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory.
Chris's crazy theory.
He's got the theory. He's got the face. It's a theory face. Let on us.
So the sound effect the plant made, we didn't know it was a plant at the time before shooting out. It sounded very familiar to me. It sounded like an ass blaster. And I started to think about this. The whole point, the plot of the story, is it Flora or Fauna? And that this creature was a mix of the two. And in fact, Cletus and Dr. Casey Matthews mentioned that the plant DNA was a Venus flytrap and an Amazonian plant that was known to have this acidic acid mixed with animal DNA, likely reptilian, a snake, or a reptile. But I don't think it was a snake or a reptile. And I have some more reasons why. The steam coming off of the acid and the speed at which it melted the people's bodies was too high and too fast to be acid alone. So it was mixed with a high temperature combustible element. Do you see where this is headed?
I do believe so. Yep.
The creature was also growing upwards, if you noticed, right? It was trying to reach the sky. It was growing upwards before it released the seeds, almost as if there was a creature inside trying to get to the sky, perhaps an aerial creature, which would be different from a reptile or a snake. It was trying to grow upwards towards the sky because the DNA wanted to get to the sky. So I believe that this
sky with acid.
So I believe that the animal DNA was not a reptile or snake. I believe it was an ass blaster. And I have conducted a scientific experiment to demonstrate how this would work.
If these are naked pictures you use with your head in the sandbox, YouTube doesn't like that. So let me know so I can blur it out and then we can put over and rumble.
Okay. All right, plan B. I thought you would say that. So plan B. Now listen, this is a very intellectual experiment I'm about to conduct. It's also dangerous. So don't try this experiment at home for you listeners out there. This also might be on a very high intellectual level. So I know Colin will get it. And I know Levi will get that. But if anyone else out there wants notes, I have my data, I have my research. But basically, this is how the experiment goes. And I will explain how it's actually an ass blaster mixed with the flower. And I'll show you a little bit of how it goes. So this hat represents ass blaster. Okay, so for the purposes of this scientific experiment, I will be representing the ass blaster. And this is how it was mixed into the flower.
Nothing but the house quality on the show.
So as you can see, the ass blaster is inside the flower. And I think I've demonstrated exactly why. Now you might ask, what would we call this creature? Because they never named it in the episode. And that is why it is not a Venus. It is not a Venus flytrap. It is an anus people trap, aka the Flora ass blaster. And there you have it. My notes will be available to anyone who wants it online. A lot of research was made into this. A lot of people were hurt. That's the word. During the filming of this scientific experiment. And there you
go. Nothing but quality on this show. Hey? It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a Chris.
Chris's crazy theory.
Sorry, you're making too much sense. You're gonna have to re-look at your formula. Oh man. Tiny bumholes. On the plants, though, such a simple design, and yet so well used. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and there was a lot of them too.
Like this was papier mâché. Like this was not thousands of dollars worth of production. These were busy papier mâché plants, and
Yeah,
somebody's just spent the time, right. let's make a couple hundred of these. You know, yeah, it's so effective.
I thought it worked really well, and I like that scene where there was like hundreds of them at the end, and Tyler is floating over it. I thought that looked really good for a TV show. I'm assuming that's CGI. I don't think they actually took the time to plant them, but it looked
I,
good.
do you know what? I can almost imagine they did.
Did they? There's a lot
Well,
of them.
I could imagine. I don't know for certain, but the
Yeah,
look, when you see them up close and you see them in that, do you know why a lot of CGI looks so bad? Like you can tell. Where this actually looks as if they've just went and made a bunch of these, maybe got a mold or something and just made either plaster of Paris molds or papier mâché and just made a whole bunch of these,
yeah, yeah.
stuck them out. And
That's
if
fair.
they did that, fair play to them. If they didn't and used CGI, bloody fair play to them because this looked good.
It looked good either way. Yeah, and the fact that I'm not sure and you're not sure, that's a great sign. That's what you want, CGI to be seamless. Yeah.
And you don't know where it's used or where it's not used. It's all the magician's trick, the magic of the show when you're, how did they do that? And you can guess, but you don't know 100%. I'm all for that. That's part of the immersion.
Right. For sure.
But even the scene in the lab and everything else, when you see these things up close and all, they're just such a simple tool, just a bit of creativity, bit of the right color, just looking like a plant. And they weren't going around like munching people or anything. It was just such a basic premise. It just spits out little sacks.
Yeah.
And once again, it's the whole storytelling aspect that managed to make it into an actual threat and a danger.
Yeah, it worked really well. Yeah.
And once again, we're getting this sort of MacGyver up, where everyone's like, okay, what have we got? What can we use here to like figure this out?
Yeah, I love that element. And I think that's like quintessential to a good Tremors episode or Tremors movie is the community working together, facing an never before seen threat, a dangerous creature, and then finding a way to work as a unit, to work together to try to solve the problem. So I thought that whole scene was great of them like using the sticks to kind of like map out how big this creature is, finding where the center of it was and poisoning it. I thought that was cool.
Like once again, the locals discover maybe use a long pole before you poke at something and don't get your face right up against it.
Yeah.
But the clever scientists couldn't. They had to get dissolved first.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe don't poke at things that we don't understand when we know we're in a site where secret government experiments went on with dangerous things.
Yeah, I can almost forgive the first two. If they really, they thought the only thing to worry about was the although
Blanco.
they did know about Mixmaster. So you're right. Yeah. They should have known ahead of time. But the third guy, the one who goes at midnight, a day after his friends got killed.
Yeah.
That's the one where it's like, what? I'm not even bothering.
Just popping outside to scout the perimeter by myself, or I'm going into the basement. Or do you know what? See that book, Bound in Human Flesh and Written in Blood? I'm going to read from it out loud. That's that sort of character.
Yeah, that's the character that you do return his remains to the family, of course, to be respectful. But you also withdraw his diploma. And you say, you know what? I'm posthumously, what is that word? I'm removing that diploma after his death. I just blew that joke. But you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't deserve a diploma, that guy.
God, I've even forgotten now. God's sake, he just got it honestly in my head.
Yeah. That third guy definitely, and the guy who was with him doesn't deserve to live either, but he did. So,
but all in all, good result.
Yeah, great episode.
The only thing I was thinking is, would they have liquid nitrogen? If they had liquid nitrogen, that would have solved a lot of problems.
Yeah, and they did use that in a previous episode, so they have access to it.
They mustn't have had it for this one.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I was thinking of, liquid nitrogen, but then that would have been too quick and easy.
But also that would have only...
Yeah.
Thanks, Leo. Yeah, but I think that only would have killed the one creature, though. It wouldn't have spread to the others like the poison did, maybe.
Yeah, they had to get in the center, but it worked. You know what I mean? It was a good.
It
It was a
pumped
good
it like
defense.
blood. Yeah.
Yep. It was a bit that put more in. I was like, why aren't you putting it all in it anyway? Like, why do you have this and only put like 2 drops in and then have to be told? Like, if it was me, I'd be like, fucking die.
That's fair. That's fair.
That was the only silly bit, but I can
Yeah.
forgive that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway,
Good episode though. Yeah.
good episode. Now got to top of this one.
Oh, I could see your delay. I could see your stalling.
Let's talk about plants some more. Let's drag it out.
I could put the suit back on for you, buddy.
I need to put the suit on. All right, then.
We're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. It's gonna be fine.
Fucking activists. Oh god. This episode triggered me.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows.
Yeah. I thought of you when I was watching.
Work about, everyone knows.
I thought of you when I was watching this. I was like, oh boy.
Right.
Yeah.
So Graboid writes. Fuck. Bastards. Ugh, that's my review.
So the thing with activists that I don't get is like I don't know about you, but I've never been swayed by a handwritten sign. I've never been like, you know what, I feel very firm in my beliefs, and then I pass someone who has a cleverly worded sign, and I'm like, you know what, buddy, I appreciate that sign. I'm going to change my thinking, and you know what? Thank you for your grammar. It doesn't happen. So when people show up with their
people
signs,
gluing themselves to roads, yeah, that's going to convince me.
Yeah.
Like, you've won me over. Yeah, you're gluing yourself to... Fuck, there's this one time I was on the M25 and the bastards they closed up the M25 ahead, and I'm like, let me through. I've got a big fucking van. I've got 2 ton short, long wheelbase here. I can get at least 10 of them. Come on. I was up for, honestly, I would have happily walked into prison going, yep, that was me. Yes, I reversed 6 times. Yes, I swerved a few times to get the last one. Yes, that was me. Guilty, Your Honor. You know what I mean? I would have went for life imprisonment with a smile on my face, knowing I'd taken out a whole section of them.
Well, I'm glad you did it, because we wouldn't have this podcast.
They piss me off no end.
Yeah. Yeah.
The minute you start going about like an arse, and that's it, you've lost your argument. I instantly hate you. And even if it was something I agreed with previously, you get on the gut, you've lost me. I hate your guts and everything you stand for.
Yeah, and the guys that chain themselves to the truck,
and nobody sets fire to them. They're chained up. Lighter fluid, lighter. We'll get a barbecue. Nobody's.
Well, you don't want to ruin the truck. Trucks are expensive, but yeah.
If trucks now have to install barbecues to the front of them.
Yeah.
Right, that's it. You have to attach barbecues to the front of the truck so that when an activist attaches itself, then you can just fold them into the barbecue, light the charcoals. It spins down, and then you can roast them, or actually a spit.
Yeah.
You have to put them on a spit, and you have the charcoals in the front of the truck. And it's attached to the dynamo to the wheels, so like the spin and roast, and you just go along at 2 miles an hour and not have them slowly rotating in front of your truck.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I've thought about this.
Yeah, that's very detailed. Reminds me of Return of the Jedi when they're trying to get to Han Solo and them.
Yeah, we need Ewoks. That would have solved it. Every time there's activists, send some Ewoks in.
But the way I try to look at it seriously is like, if you're an activist and you believe in something, your methods say a lot about your cause, because try to think of it if there was the opposite point of view. If people who were wanted to kill the Graboid did the same thing, like, how would you feel about it? Like, just the fact that you chain yourself to a truck, or that you disrupt a business, or you ruin this town's, life for the moment. Like, if the opposite point of view did the same thing, Like obviously you'd be opposed to it. So I think that your methodology says a lot about your cause. You know, you need to pick the right way of getting your point across.
The thing about an activist is they have no cause. They only have the current thing. An activist's whole life is being an activist. That's it.
Right.
That's why you're seeing them. They jump. The name of the organization changes. They jump to the next one. Jump to the next thing. Jump to the next thing. You know, that's why they've all multiple badges and flags and all. You know, what I mean, it's just whatever the current thing is. It's their whole life is to be an agitator.
Right.
That's it. They don't care. They don't actually care about the particular cause. They just want to go and shout and scream and get noticed. And I hate them. I
that's fair.
despise them with all my heart. Because they're not actually interested in solutions. It just, if that problem was solved, they'd look for the next one. That's just their whole outlook.
Yeah.
Like I could barely watch this through the red mist that descended.
Yes.
Like once that started and I knew what was going on, I just flipping rage the whole episode.
But you know, I see why they wrote this episode, because it is an interesting take on, you know, what would the community at large think about this creature that was living in this town. It's become, you know, public knowledge about what happened with the Graboids and Tremors 1, 2, and 3. So, you know, I do like they at least explore different reactions. Like we've seen episodes now where people, you know, come to view it like a whale or something like that, and they take the tour, which is how one group of people would react. It's exciting to see this rare and endangered creature that's never been seen before on Earth. And then there's this other point of view of people trying to experiment on it. And now this is third group of people that are, you know, trying to, you know, say that the Graboid has rights.
So we've seen in that terrible movie, people wanting to hunt them for sport.
Right.
Which went wrong. You know what I mean? We've seen that aspect too.
Yeah. So I kind of like that they're exploring, you know, different human reactions to this creature, because these are all true. Like these are all valid reactions that different groups of people would have, you know?
Do you know an interesting aspect, which I never even realized? Do you know who were keeping a lot of endangered species alive? Game hunters.
Yeah.
Seriously, you know, the ones that want to go and hunt lions and bears and all that kind of stuff. You know, the twats, you know, they're dentists during the week, and then they have this big, you know, they want their pose. You know, I don't like them, think they're dickheads, but
yeah,
they actually served a purpose, because they were paying so much money to go and do these hunts that it actually funded the conservation of the particular species. Then the activists started without looking into it. Oh, and then they started hiring these people at their jobs, you know, back in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then they closed down the industry, and now we're starting to see certain species going extinct because the funding's no longer there to maintain the grounds and the breeding programs.
Interesting.
Actively doomed the species through their activism, because those types, like I said, they're only interested in shouting and screaming. That's all they want to do, and they just want to be pointed to the next target. Look at social media, look at the cancel pigs. They just want the next target, because that's what makes them feel powerful. They're not actually interested in whatever cause it is. In fact, they do more harm and they cause more hate.
Right.
Because once whatever you are is attached to these dickheads, then that's it. You become that focus of the hate. And then they move on to the next thing, and then the people left behind are left with a fallout because they were briefly attached to these arseholes at some point. But yeah, that was a big thing, was actually game hunting was a massive conservation project. But people didn't see it because, you know, once again, I want to go shout and scream with banners, and I want to go get somebody's business closed down because I don't have a business. And they've actually doomed some species to extinction because nobody wants to go game hunting anymore because they don't want the hassle when they get back.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh dear, but what gets me is this is set before like iThings and S things and camera phones and like live streaming.
Yeah. What? How would it have been different?
Well, one machine gun. Problem solved. This episode could have been 3 minutes long. Oh, you're not active. You're not being activist anymore. Oh, we're in a secluded valley in the middle of nowhere with lots of like desert. Done. Solved.
Well, you bring up a good point. Indirectly, of course. Your murderous ways bring up a good point. What I like about the show is that they show the government as willing to do illegal experiments, willing to look the other way when innocent people stumble upon perfection, get killed, but they don't portray the government as completely evil. So like they don't have the government willing to just take out Bert and take out the town so that they can conduct their experiments in peace. Like they're willing to work with them to an extent. Like Twitchell is a great example of this, where he's not really evil. He's an antagonist. Yeah, he's an antagonist at times, but he also is a good person under, deep down. I feel like a family person, as they brought up in a previous episode. So I like that approach, and it's very much of the times, because if they made the show now, the government would have been completely portrayed as evil and willing to machine gun all the people.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Well,
some people need machine gunned.
Yeah. All right. I tried.
That's the problem. Not enough machine guns. There's too many camera phones and not enough machine guns in the world now.
The ratio has certainly shifted.
Yeah, we need to get the ratio back to machine guns and camera phones. Good a good EMP and some 7.62 will solve a lot of the world's problems. I'm so getting bad.
This one will be the test.
This one will be
the test. Poor Levi had a squirt gun, and he got bad. He got banned.
Seriously?
No, I think it was a Nerf. I think it was a Nerf gun at one point. Yeah,
well, I'm just metaphorically speaking about.
Yeah, these metaphoric.
Don't have one.
Guns.
If that wouldn't be here, I'd be out of hunting.
The machine gun is a metaphor, people. It's just a metaphor.
I don't care. If I go tomorrow, the minute I have to stop being me, then I'm not on this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
That's fair.
That's because there's a lot of dodgy stuff goes on in the internet, especially involving actual abuse of children and animals that's allowed. And yet you say something in a hyperbolic way and that's it, you're getting taken down. It's like everything's out of whack. It's the same. This is a much different example, but in the States, you could show a movie that has violence, people getting killed, sliced to death, blood, and it'll get like a PG-13. But you show one boob, and it's NC-17. So there's a lot of things that are not that are out of whack in society. Oh yeah, what's more damaging?
Right.
But this episode. I should have said, when we find out Mindy's gotten involved with the Chad. That should be a warning. There's red flag.
Yeah.
Anyone that names their kid Chad is just knows that they've birthed an abomination.
Yeah, you've doomed him from the start for sure. Yeah. I thought Mindy. I preferred the actress who played Mindy in Tremors 1 and Tremors 3. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but I preferred that actress to this one. But to be fair to this actress, the storyline had her being an annoying character, and she nailed it. Because man, you could see where she gets it from. Nancy has been very argumentative the last few episodes and been very annoying.
Were they building up this episode, or is this because they've filmed everything out of sequence?
Yeah.
Is this going to be carrying on after this episode, or is it building up? You don't know, because logically you think she was heading to this. It was building you up to this episode, but then everything's filmed out of sequence, so
Yeah. So you know what? That's a great point, though. Like, what if Nancy's argumentativeness, her, the way she's been towards Bert the last few episodes, what if it's because she's aware that Mindy left college and she's running around with this guy Chad, and so Nancy's just kind of taking it out on the group? Like, that would actually make sense as to why she's been like that the last few episodes. A lot of fighting with Bert. Everything's an argument. And maybe that's the reason, like, she's upset that Mindy left school and stuff like that. So that actually makes a lot of sense that that's the reason. But Mindy and her mom are very, very similar in that way.
Oh yeah, becomes seriously. And there's almost an incestuous thing there, because was Chad's father Scarecrow or his uncle?
Chad's father was Scarecrow, so the mom slept with the Chad's
father
dad.
And Mindy's father. Yeah,
that's just weird.
Yeah. Ding 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 ding. I'd be, you know what, if I was done the right way, I'd be up for that. Because we've got this whole thing of adversaries and then grudge and respect and an almost affection between Bert and El Blanco. Now, it's not the entire focus of the TV series, but it's sort of dripped in there. You know, Bert and his protective wing has taken El Blanco under it.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been a better episode. That's interesting, Levi. I would have liked to have seen that instead.
Because the end of this was cringe.
And it would be a great story arc for Bert from Tremors 1 to now he's at the point where he's coexisting with El Blanco and he's gone as far as protecting it, but then to take it to a further extreme where he's got to nurse it back to health. I thought that would be a really interesting story arc to go with it. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't go that route.
Yeah, because that would have been, never mind this episode, but an episode where El Blanco gets sick.
Right.
And because of somebody doing something stupid. And then Bert being the one that actually, has a heart-to-heart with El Blanco in Bert fashion. That would have been some brilliant monologuing.
Yeah.
And then when El Blanco sort of maybe does some sort of gesture of not trying to eat him straight away, but shifting back down and Bert gruffly nodding at El Blanco, that sort of understanding between the two of them. That would have been epic.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
for sure. They have a bit of a symbiotic relationship at this point because Bert needs El Blanco. Otherwise, without El Blanco, the government's going to make them, leave the town because they have the Mixmaster issue to worry about. And also the fact that, El Blanco and the Graboids have given Bert his life meaning. He's the protector of the town. He's the protector of his family, which are, the people that live in the town. That's everything to him. We saw him in Tremors 2, just sitting in his room, eating, watching TV, miserable. And ever since then, ever since he was called by Fred Ward's character to come and rescue him, he's just been this new person who has a purpose in life. He's saving lives. He's the survivalist. He's teaching people. So they have this kind of important relationship. If El Blanco goes away, his life has no meaning, So it's kind of interesting that if they had taken it to that extreme where he had to save El Blanco, that would have been really cool.
Yep. And the series, that's another thing actually Levi brings up. The series actually addresses the whole Heather issue. Where in the movies it's just brushed under the carpet.
Yes.
But the fact is that Heather was his other half. Soulmate, that kind of, you want to go that far?
Right.
And it's always been brought up, it's something he doesn't want. It still stings. And yeah, it's done better. Like there's loads of what do you call them type of shows where they do all the touchy-feely stuff.
Like drama.
Yeah, drama types. Don't do a better storyline than this.
Yeah.
They'd have the character breaking down and then, minute and this whole underlying thread of that Bert is still stinging after all these years about the one that left him.
Right.
And in the sequel trilogy, They shot it. I mean, they jumped on it. They battered it. They pissed on it. What was it? Tremors 6 with the rifle.
Yeah, they deconstructed.
Could that
him
have been
in
any
Tremors
more
6.
clumsily written?
Yeah. Tremors 5, they embarrassed him by throwing him in the cage, but Tremors 6 is where they just completely deconstructed his character. That was the worst example.
And they tried to replace him with an actor who never came back anyway. So
yeah, Jamie Kennedy, Travis. Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. Interesting.
In the meantime, they built this up and then they just threw it away.
Yeah. Yeah. You got the recipe. Yeah, you got the recipe right here for any number of sequels. You have a lot of elements in the show.
Movie, you know what I mean? Especially considering the budget of the movies. All I had to do is keep this show going, and every so often a movie, you know what I mean? A TV movie with the same cast. God's sake, this would have been done for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Night of the Shriekers proves that they could quite easily take that next step into a TV movie with an epic plot. I was the closest I've gotten this to an actual movie, and it would have been perfect. But no, let's piss about and throw in random characters every 5 minutes and give nobody a chance to bond to them, and then throw them away and then completely change it and destroy the main character, the only connected thread between the entire series. Let's just denigrate him. Sure, that works.
Yeah.
Thanks to activists.
I know how to
do everything.
I know how to bring you back, buddy. Rosalita is still gorgeous.
I couldn't even say it in this movie or this series.
I'll say it for you.
I couldn't even bring myself to, like, normally my little heart does a flutter, and I just couldn't. I'm like, oh yeah,
I like that she turned into a waitress at the end when all the activists were inside the market and getting food and stuff like that. Jodie Chang turned into a cook. She made what looked like delicious, like sandwiches, like club sandwiches she was making, and and Rosalita was the waitress. I thought
Jodie was the best character in this.
Oh, I love her.
She's just like, here's an opportunity. I am just 100% focused. Like, she is niece of Walter. Like, that is just pure Walter here. You know,
she's so great, and she even says, as she's serving them the food, she's like, I don't believe in your cause. I just want you to know that, but I will take your money. Something like that.
And put all the prices up.
Yeah.
Even Travis Tyler's like, how much now? Or no, what was it, Twitchell?
Oh, yes. Yeah, Twitchell looked at his bill and he was like, whoa, and then he just pockets it and walks away. So assuming he never paid it. Yeah. But right before that, there was an interesting line he had. Jodie says something to the effect of, if we can't run away anytime a monster shows up, what are we going to go to Mars? And then and Twitchell says something to the effect of like something to do with the Martians. I was like, hey, government agent, maybe he knows something, because my theory about how the Graboids are Tremors in space. I thought they've been listening to my crazy theories from the past.
That was they've gone back and they've done some of the time travel stuff. And
wait, you had butter on that toast, $15.99. That's great.
Yeah, that was it. No, he's been caught out a couple of times. He tries it every time, but there's a couple of times Jodie's caught him out.
Yeah, in the car right before he drives away.
Yeah, before he's about to drive away, she's nailed him. Like, I've noticed that a couple of times.
Yeah. But Jodie is the best. She and the actress that plays her, it's just so endearing. Like, to be greedy, but also be like sweet and likable. That's not easy to play both ends of that.
No,
she's great at it.
Like, we saw the wooden plank in Tremors 3. That was painful.
Yeah.
But
same.
This actress is brilliant. She just nails it, and better personality, and everyone sort of, once again, it's this aspect of accept people for who they are, and you can have a whole range of personalities and thoughts and outlooks coming together for a common good.
Yes. And
like,
there's all sorry.
No, just like that's the underlying message of a lot of the TV and stuff back then. It was like, oh, let's all get along. We're all different. We've all got our quirks and our personalities. We've all got hard lines we won't go past. We've got malleable areas where we can be talked around. And it's
Right.
all about community is understanding those things for the good of the community. And today
Yeah.
that's completely because they're all activists, they're all these arseholes. That's what everybody is now. They're an activist.
And it's absolutely, and it's interesting because the cast is a a diverse cast. You know, you have someone who's Latino, you have someone who's who's Asian, but you don't think of it like it's not like it's exactly it's not done where like the Willow series Disney. It looked like they went out of their way to find one of each member of every race
right.
and
You're not a
ethnicity.
human being. You're a fucking box that needs to be checked. Tick.
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot. Oh, can you tick more than one? Tick, tick, tick. That's all people are now. And that's all it's
yeah,
presented to you. And that's the force level of people's personalities. And I have to say, I'll be an Islamophobe now. I don't give a shit. If you're going to call me stuff all my life and not knowing me who I am as a person,
mhm,
fine, albeit that's what you're desperate for. I'm sick of it.
yeah.
We have
One of
lived in a time. The 80s were not good for prejudice. Definitely late 70s, 80s were not a good time for prejudice. People got kicked out of their homes and all sorts
mm,
for even being a little bit quirky. You got the shit kicked out of you if you're anybody different. I remember that. I also remember the 90s when things started to turn around into the early 2000s. I remember us getting that golden spot. There's always going to be conflict in the world. There's always going to be people that don't get along. That's the nature of the human animal.
right, right,
We're a tribal being. That's who we are. Chimps in
right.
suits. That we're still got the lizard brain in the back of the head that, you're not the same, you're a threat. That's survival. But we'll learn to temper it.
Yeah,
And now these idiots have taken us right back that everybody is just an immutable characteristic. And
yeah.
it's these activist arseholes who they don't even paint their own slogans. Like when they get interviewed, have you ever seen them get interviewed? What does that mean in your slogan? I don't know. Somebody handed it to me.
Mm.
That's how stupid they are.
Yeah, but I love that the town of Perfection is diverse without it being like over the top, and everyone gets along, and you don't even think about it like this. It's just a community of people, and the community of people would be different. Man, it'd be boring if everyone was the same race
Yeah.
and the same ethnicity. You know,
Who 100% agrees with me that comes on here?
very few people.
Exactly.
No, I'm
With
just,
that,
I'm just,
how
I'm just
bored. No, but seriously,
yeah, yeah,
I don't sit here in an echo chamber. How many times am I argued against and, different opinions and stuff?
yeah,
I'm going to have the conversation. We have done it.
yeah, yeah,
Cameron and I have definitely done it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's come on. We've had different opinions and stuff. Would it be boring if I just had an echo chamber of, right, you must agree 100% everything I think and say?
Yeah,
God, that's crap.
it's boring. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
But
But
these activist types, they just represent everything wrong.
yeah.
Entitled pricks who don't serve any function, who 9 times out of 10 come from a rich family, so they don't actually have to earn anything themselves.
Yeah.
And
Leave
Chad's character in this this wouldn't be allowed to be made today, in fairness. As much as this episode wound me up the hell, just because it's too many parallels with what's going on today, they would not allow this episode to exist today because it actually points at the hypocrisy and the games.
right. Right. He couldn't get his point across, so they had to cheat to
No,
make
but
it
they're
seem.
useful idiots.
Mhm.
Chad's a schemer. He's looking for political power, so he uses the useful idiots.
Right. Right.
We got it with all the things he was turning up at. He's there. He's all clipped and polished. And why does he start shagging Mindy, a student? Which is a big no-no. Like, it doesn't matter whether she's an adult or not. If you're in a position of
Authority.
authority
Yeah.
or what's the word? Uh, I've done jobs, I guess. You can't if you've got clients who are considered vulnerable, you do not like that's one of the rules.
Don't take advantage of it, right?
Yeah, no, but there's strict guidelines, lines you do not cross. Like get in the rooms with locked doors and no windows and stuff, and you don't share your personal phone number, you don't share your social media account, you don't add them. Safeguarding. Fuck's sake,
Oh, safeguarding.
why can I not get that word in my head? I see how angry this has made me. My brain's falling. Right, if you're in a position where you're responsible for safeguarding, you
Yeah.
do not cross that line in any shape or form. And it doesn't matter
Gotcha.
how friendly someone gets with you or whatever else. If you've got a client or whatever it is, I've done quite a lot of sort of community work over the years, and that. So I know those lines. You don't cross them. And the work actually youth work. When you work with kids, you don't. I mean, you have to be ultra careful because, especially if you're dealing with someone and you're an authority figure, you can be latched onto in an unhealthy way. Because if you're trying to help someone who doesn't have a stable upbringing, they can misconstrue you just trying to be a helpful figure with something romantic, for example.
Right.
And then if you pursue that, well, guess what? You're another figure that's ruined trust in their life, and then you've created another broken person.
Yeah.
And then you've gone against the work you've done. So a university professor shagging a student, I know it's an old trope, but it should be one of the biggest no. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever. If you're that desperate and love is, that keen, then wait till they graduate 5 years down the line.
Absolutely.
And then if you really love, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or quit your job or something. Yeah.
But no, this guy is an absolute slimeball, and he 100% represents the people pulling the string of the activists. The activist just wants the next slogan to chant, and people like this, oh right, here we go. I've got a cheap labor to rather having to pay professionals, just get these muppets. All I need is a bus and ship them to the place and give them a new slogan to chant, and that's it. Job done.
Yeah. You could tell he was evil too because of his reaction to his friend Ray, who he told to, spread that poison, and then Ray gets killed, and he doesn't even like phase him. He's like, "Oh, Ray would have loved this."
Ray's no friend. This guy, this is the sort of person that does not have friends.
Doesn't have friends. Yeah, he uses people.
Yeah. And this is what is it? I put that Nancy's chickens have come home to roost because Nancy's been getting more and more of an irritating character in this series.
Right.
And then we see Mindy, and then we see her basically following the same road, and then Nancy, instead of having a bit of thought, goes, well, I have to join in now because this is who I am.
Yeah. You can't blame Mindy after her mom is the
that's
example.
That's her upbringing. So what the hell does she know?
So I was curious, and I forgot. I'm always glad we have Levi in the chat because I'm sure Levi knows, but maybe you remember too. What happened to the Mindy's father?
They split up because she decided to move to perfection.
Okay, gotcha.
The divorce because Nancy wanted to move to perfection to do her arts and whatever she was doing,
right,
to find herself. So she made that decision and divorced her husband, took her daughter with her because, of course.
Yeah. But I think after this episode, we know the husband's ultimate fate after watching Mindy and Nancy. So the husband's ultimate fate was happiness because he got away from these two.
Absolutely.
These two, they were
characters need to die. Like, honestly, their characters need to be killed.
Well,
they need to be eaten, both of them.
Well, there's the part where we slightly differ. Just on the record, but he is happy now. That's for sure. He did the right thing. This guy,
absolutely.
Yeah.
If you've got a normal screwed on brain and you've got these two, you can't operate. You just cannot function.
Yeah, but I don't want Nancy to die. I just feel like we're gonna leave 20% of we lose 20% of the town. We only have a population of 7. I do find her. She has been very annoying, but I think that's actually an interesting underlying storyline. Maybe that the reason she's been so antagonistic is because her daughter.
Okay, keep Nancy, but Mindy has to die then. And then that makes Nancy reflect on her life choices. I'll meet you halfway.
I'll take it.
We'll have to see Mindy get eaten by El Blanco. El Blanco remembers, and it has to be the cheesy, the spinny Tremors 6 Graboid.
Yeah.
Michael Bay Graboid.
Yeah. The Transformer Graboid.
And Mindy going, I want lots of blood and gore. In fact, El Blanco spits her out. She's that repulsive. Like he goes in, he just like and spits her against the wall.
Like 412. Like 412,
yeah.
where he spits her back and she's
In fact,
fine.
She's more repulsive than 412. He tastes the activist in her, and he's like, "Oh God!" Spits her against the wall, and the body just crumples against it and just slides down in blood and pus, and her face is still frozen in terror.
Wow!
Just makes herself happy again.
Yeah, there you go.
This is a horror channel, folks.
Yeah, we
surprise.
Got you back. It's good to see you back, buddy. Cheers.
Oh man, yeah. This did all sorts of numbers on me this episode. I'll put this as the worst episode, even though it was well done. It did a good story. Just if it didn't run so many parallels to the shit that's going on today, that's absolutely dragging me up the wall.
Yeah, for sure.
It wouldn't have annoyed me as much. It would have been laughable. Like back then, we would have watched this and went, ha ha ha, yeah, look at these things. And then you see that they're actually running things now.
Yeah. But would you think about I don't know if you want to skip ahead to the ending, but what do you think about the ending with the slow motion? I thought that was so cheesy but fun.
It was a bit cringe.
Where Tyler is like, and then everyone's like watching, and then he's trying to throw the concoction back into the mixture.
Yeah, but we also need to talk about Dr. Burton.
Oh yes. I like that the show has.
I thought the Nightly Shrieker's doctor was like a bitch, but this one takes it to a new level.
Yeah. I like that the show is continuing the theme that all evil scientists have to be gorgeous too. I'm on board this theme.
Well, it's the poisonous beauty sort of trope, isn't it?
Yeah.
Danger can be beautiful.
Right.
It's the whole like the brightest colors on the animals, the most venomous or the most poisonous. Sorry,
I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
And it's it's Galadriel, when she's like, instead of a king, you would have a queen, beautiful, and all would worship before me. It's that whole femme fatale, but it's also TV. Ugly people aren't allowed.
Yeah. But Chad definitely already got with her, I imagine.
Oh yeah,
you could tell.
Do you think he's keeping it in his trousers just for Mindy? She's just no.
Once you've gone
she's
past
already disposable. Once he only got with her to get the perfection.
Right.
At the end of the day.
That
was his way in, and then to use her as a resident. You know what I mean? It was all a ploy.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Dr. Burton, what an absolute lizard.
But what I do like about her character is I miss the days when you would uncover, the bad guy's plot. Like in the real world, even when you catch the person red-handed, they still deny. They say that it's fake news. They say that they were set up by the other side, or even when they admit to it, the people that are on their side of whatever the political argument is, they spin it because they just don't want to admit they're wrong. What I like about this is Dr. Burton is caught red-handed, and then in front of all the cameras, she just decides to monologue. I miss those days. I like that.
The twirled mustache and the
you
Austin
caught me.
Powers.
And here's how I did it.
And I've gotten away for it to one for you pesky kids.
Yeah, I missed that. That's fun.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Yeah, but this is also because this is episodal as well. Yes, they've got the clever mix of it being episodal, but an interlocking plot throughout the series, which I miss as well. I hate just watch season 1 or something, then you got the cliffhanger at the end of season 1, and then they tie themselves into corners without trying to do this overarching storyline because they only do it season by season. Where episodal, everything gets wrapped up by the end.
I hope that's the case. We don't know what episode 13 is like.
No, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
More than enough. There's a through-line plot, like the whole through-line plot with this is Mixmaster.
Right.
Now we've got Dr. Kate as well. She was brilliant. And this is where she came into her own with this episode. Because she was she was like the antithesis to Dr. Burton.
Right. Dr. Casey. Yeah.
Dr. Casey, actually, was the antithesis. And then she came into her own. So any doubts I had about her in the previous episode is like, right, you are on the right time.
Yeah.
And then, in fact, they trashed her lab as well.
That's right.
Like, once again, if you're going that far to destroy, like, if you're, I'm putting it into today's perspective, if you're cancelling somebody because they're wrong, well, they're obviously saying something right, or you wouldn't cancel them. Because if somebody is completely wrong, they wouldn't be a threat to you. So if somebody's going out of their way to cancel you, you're obviously on the right track. And this is the same thing. So the fact they went and trashed the lab.
Right. Interesting.
Oh, right. We can't have the truth come out. So you already know that the activists are wrong. You know that there's something nefarious going on.
That's what I'm saying. The methodology of activists tells a lot about their cause and whether it's worthy.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they needed to create this poison, the fact that they trashed the place, the fact that they ruined the tour business, that right away says a lot about the cause without even having to look into it.
Yeah, that's it. And then the fact that prepared to poison El Blanco to prove a point. Oh, when I did science in school, you're meant to go with the results. You're not meant to twist the results. Oh, I don't like these results, so I'm gonna completely bastardize them so to prove I was right.
Right. Yeah. It would be like a climate change activist saying it's not happening fast enough. So I'm going to pump greenhouse gases.
No. How about let's chop down forests and put up solar panels? New Zealand is a perfect example. New Zealand was at net zero.
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand was at net zero because of the number of forests. And then they chopped down the forests to put up solar panels. So New Zealand's no longer at net zero.
Oh, because they lost the forests.
Yeah, because guess what trees do?
Yeah.
They absorb carbon dioxide.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's you're taught that in school, the carbon cycle.
Sure.
First thing in biology, carbon cycle.
Yeah.
How it works. You need carbon in the atmosphere because that's how trees live. They breathe in carbon dioxide, they breathe out oxygen during the day as part of photosynthesis. At nighttime, they breathe out carbon dioxide, but only in minuscule amounts. Trees are good for the environment. And then you've got these activists that are chopping down trees to put up fucking concrete wind. The wind ones, I know more in the solar problems, but they'll destroy wildlife to put up a solar panel and chop down trees, forests, habitats, ecosystems. And the stealth things that work. They put up these wind turbines that don't use recyclable materials, and they'll chop down a forest to do it. And meanwhile, the blades they don't have enclosed, so they kill the local birds. Wildlife here, like we've loads of the wind farms, and they fucking kill all our sea gulls, all the endangered species that we have, unique to the British Isles. They're killing them because of the fucking choppy, whirly blades, and they still need a diesel generator to work because 9 times out of 10 the wind isn't strong enough. But sure, I'm a alt-right istophobe. One of these, hiding behind every bush at the moment for calling out bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, recycle so it can all go in a barge and go to a third world country and get buried there. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, don't start me. I try to stay out of stuff, but this is like
hypocrisy.
That's why I have no time for religion either. So when people are preaching one thing and doing the other, I've no time for that lot either. You know what I mean? I just hate hypocrisy.
Right. Right.
It just winds me up. It's the same
I
as
gotcha.
oh, you're a horror fan. You must like killing puppies and uh kidnapping school kids, really? And then to find out one example when the other 9 examples are the good living, virtuous person. They're usually the ones with the deep dark secret and the skeletons in their closet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you like scary stuff. You're evil. Yeah, okay. That is
Yeah.
that's one thing this channel does push against is the stereotypes against horror fans because it's ridiculous. Absolutely
For
no
sure.
call for it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm relatively new to the horror genre, but that's one thing that I already knew coming in, but it's been reinforced by the channel everyone has a different perspective on it, and they're just sharing the enjoyment of a genre, and the genre itself is so eclectic and diverse. This is technically, I guess, a horror series, but
It's comedy horror, it's also it's a light-hearted TV series
yeah,
based on an original, like really gripping. Like you think the original Tremors movie, that's a unique piece of art.
yeah, yeah,
A really tight drama, really tight horror with some
yeah,
comedic elements, but there's, I mean, that even forget everything else, that film on its own is a unique piece of film history.
yeah.
You know
But
that,
through
that
the yeah,
just that's what's inspired all this. If it wasn't for that movie just being so unique in itself and so strong, we wouldn't be here
yeah, for sure,
talking about this stuff.
for sure. It holds up so well. Yeah,
And yeah, Bert didn't shoot Ray. I just love the way that Bert is a survivalist and he always has weapons, but he never has one when he needs to actually take out a bad guy in this. It's like the A team. You know why the A team never actually shot anybody?
yeah. No one died in the
I think
18th.
they did in one episode, and then everyone complained that they had to take it off air or something, or
Oh,
cut it out.
really? I
Yeah,
didn't
there was
know
only
that.
one A team episode, and I can't remember it, but they actually did shoot someone, and people went ballistic.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's the same with this. They've just said that, yeah, he's a survivalist, but actually, he's not going to kill someone in cold blood. And that would
Yeah,
have,
but I like that actually. Like I know it's tempting and like Ray like deserved it and everything like that. But I love that Bert is that's like one of his main characteristics is no matter how bad of a person you are, he still wants to save you. That's like one of his like primary characteristics. Even when Ray is getting eaten by the Graboid, he's still trying to pull him back. He's disappointed when he can't. Like I love that about him. I
oh,
love
yeah,
that
that's what I'm saying. It's a staple. And I
yeah.
think the minute he lets go of that, it'd be the ruined,
Yeah.
It's all right to say, yeah, I'd love to see it. Like, I can go here, why didn't he shoot him? Why didn't he shoot him? But I know for a fact in the back of my head as well, the minute he does, his character's ruined.
Yes.
It's like
Exactly.
people, oh, why doesn't Batman kill people? That's kind of the whole point, of having that line in the struggle and the conversations around it. The
Right.
minute you get that, then it's ruined. The whole mythology is ruined
Right.
and the whole character's ruined. And don't always give, I know might sound as if I'm contradicting myself, but don't always give people what they want. Obviously, you know what the customer wants, but there's also the theorists and that, oh, why didn't you do this? Let's deconstruct. And there's a reason characters are popular. Look what they did to Bert in the sequel trilogy. They
Yeah.
ruined his character, absolutely destroyed it.
Yeah.
And then they ruined the show because I don't see a Tremors 9 happening or Tremors 8.
I still holding out hope, but yeah, it's not looking good after Tremor 7.
After, those 3 movies, the sequel trilogy just like completely hammered the franchise in the ground.
Yeah.
You're probably talking to activists. Let's be honest. An activist, they just see the big bad. They need their boogeyman. They need their enemy. They can't exist without it. And there's new, that's why I'm saying this could not be made today in today's climate.
Yeah.
Because there's too much nuance. There's too much, not everything's black and white. And that's what a lot of people can't handle today.
Yeah. Plus, people want to alienate others that are supposedly on the other side of the political spectrum. So just because Bert, as an advocate of guns and free rights and things like that, they want to just put him in a cabinet along with other, or box him in along with other people that are, I guess,
It's easier
on the right
to,
wing,
it's easy to other people.
to label
There's
people.
a group
Yeah,
of people that did that in the 1930s, and that didn't go too well.
that's true. It's a good point.
You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
did that quite effectively, and look what happened there.
Yeah.
But they don't see the parallel to their own actions.
Yeah.
Once somebody becomes the other, they're no longer a person. Then you have carte blanche to do whatever you want.
Yeah, dehumanize them, which
Mhm.
is exactly what they did in the last few Tremors movies. Yeah, but
But they couldn't
uh,
get his replacement, so they were doing this, and then they
yeah,
didn't have the actor to stand up to be the new Bert.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
But one person that does need better guns is Tyler.
that little handgun in the glove
What the
compartment.
hell? He knows it's a pop gun. What the hell? He brings that out of the truck. It's like, what are you going to do with that? Tickle it?
Tickle it. Yeah, yeah,
Like, come on. That's where you've got to, like, he needs at least a hand cannon. You need at least a 50 cal Desert Eagle.
and he's close enough with Bert. I feel like they're Batman and Robin at this point. That
Yeah.
I'm sure Bert would have given him anything that he wanted from the arsenal.
So he doesn't have the arsenal anymore. That's the kind of the theme of this show, because he blew up his home in Tremors 3. That's why he doesn't have like loads of stuff, which is a convenient plot point, so they don't have to spend loads of money on props.
That's true, but I saw some weapons in that bunker. He just didn't have the ammo in that episode.
He's just slowly building up again after everything getting blown up, which I think is a cool plot point. But still, at this point, Tyler needs a bigger weapon.
Yeah, for sure.
Because pulling that thing out is just laughable at this point. He knows it's going to do nothing.
Yeah, especially if there was like a shrieker, because when there's one shrieker, there's usually 10. So that one gun is not going to keep you alive for long. Yeah.
I'm not going to bring that up, but see you Yanks in that insurrection. Oh, you hyperbolic dramatic flowers. God, I'd hate something actually proper to happen to your country. Even just a truck. Yeah. Something like that. Spray and pray. At least the escape. But yeah, he's pulling out that wee pop gun, and like he knows that's going to do nothing. Like, why even bother?
Yeah, yeah. What was your take on the use of the walkie-talkies in this? Any better, or are they still getting it wrong?
No, they were decent enough. Like they're they're just using it as a mode of communication. It's sort of casual, they're between them. So it's just over and out winds me up, because that was one of the things. If you said over and out, you got beaten. And that was because of TV. That was beating out of you. Like, what are you doing? You spend a lot of time doing this. Or the worst thing was to say contact over the radio.
Contact?
Yeah, because that means you're in the, something's shooting at you or blown up.
Oh, gotcha.
So you don't say, I'm going to contact. The minute you say that word, it's got connotations.
Oh, okay. That's a good tip.
It was called a ruby. Basically, you had to every time you said it, you had to buy a bottle of port for the mess. So it cost you money. It was one of them things. Wow. Well, some methods of teaching, that you learn from. Oh, frick's sake. And it had to be a nice bottle of port too, not a cheap one. There's a minimum standard, like $50 a bottle.
Oh, jeez.
You had to buy a bottle of port for the mess, and that was like punishment, just known as a ruby. Oh, you said it. That's a ruby. Oh, here's Charlie 1 Alpha. Oh, that's a ruby. Out. You're just like, especially if you got it just before, say you're in exercise just before the end of the month. Usually before leave, you went in a major exercise, and you didn't want to make any expensive mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, and the funny thing was, it was never enforceable. It wasn't like written into law or anything. It was just part of the, you embraced it as part of the, oh shit, right, okay, I messed up, right, learn my lesson.
Yeah,
And I was like,
unwritten
yeah, but
code. Yeah,
you didn't mind because you knew, right, I arsed up. I'd rather have that than 100 HR meetings
right.
where you just blah talk them to death to give up on life.
And in a reverse way, it's a good teaching tool because you
You
remember from
learn
having
once.
paid the money that, oh, that's the word that I use if I'm in trouble.
Yeah, that's
You
it.
don't.
It's a lesson well learned.
Yeah, you don't have to stop and think, oh, what was the word that I need to remember?
And the thing is, though, eventually, if your trajectory, you're going to end up in the mess anyway, and you're going to end up drinking a bottle of port, some idiot that's bought anyway. So you see it from both sides.
Yeah, that's true. You benefit from it too.
Yeah, it's one of them long term things. You're like, I'm up it. I remember I did mine, clunk. But yeah, power hungry idiots leading useful idiots, power hungry creeps leading useful idiots, and activists with no cause, just whatever the next thing is. And I was actually worried about El Blanco at the end. Like, the way they brought him up and the fact that he crashed into the middle of town, knowing that his time was up, he wasn't feeling good, and that's where he knew to go.
Right. Which goes back to how the graboids are getting smarter, particularly this one who's outlived its life expectancy.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
I was trying to get you. That's awesome. But yeah, I was worried for him too. Although I will say, after they did the cheesy slow motion and Mindy with the softball, I thought that was such old TV cheese. I loved it. I ate it up.
And of course, Mindy had to do it.
Yeah,
I know they're doing it as her redemption, but what they should have done
yeah.
was actually covered her in it and threw her into El Blanco.
That would have been funny.
That would have been a better ending.
I was really hoping though that after they healed El Blanco, that he would just come to life and like all the activists are cheering, and then it just starts eating them one by one.
Like Pac-Man, going
Yeah.
across. Arf, 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 arf. The snake, the snake tentacles just.
Oh, that would have been so delightful. That would have been so great. Graboid right. Just get sucked in.
Yeah, that's and there was a parallel drawn there as well of an awareness. This whole symbiotic relationship is brought to the fore.
Yeah.
That El Blanco knows that he's aware the people are. They know they're not doing him harm. They know they're just thinking on. Maybe not understands it in his brain, but they are smart creatures.
Especially at this point, because he's outlived his life expectancy.
Yeah, that was I was going to say that. That was a point that was brought up. It was very interesting.
Yeah. Because go ahead.
No, I was going to say that the fact that he's outlived the life cycle of a graboid.
Yeah, and they get smarter as they get older. That they've hammered that point through every movie. In fact, what was the movie or what was the episode that like they yell at Bert? Oh yeah, I think that our favorite episode where they yell at Bert because Bert's trying to teach them. They're getting smarter. They're like, we know, Bert, because that's the theme though, that they do get smarter. So I think that every time that the Chang's market rumbles and El Blanco goes through, you know how everyone's like, don't move, and even Jody's like, she tells Larry, don't move in the previous episode. I think that the graboid knows where they are. Mm-hmm. Like he could at any moment deviate because he's obviously close by for them to hear the shaking.
Yep.
I know at any point he could deviate and go eat them, but he chooses not to because he's well taken care of. He's properly fed. Like I really do think that he knows to stay away from the center of perfection, either because he's afraid of Bert or because he knows that like these are the people that keep him safe. But he, like when they say like stay still, he knows. El Blanco knows where they are.
There's a game being played. There's almost like rules in the establishment. It's like people work with gators. I watch a lot of there's one in particular, Flora as well. This guy called Gator Chris. and he's brilliant. He has, he does tours down there with a gator called Casper, and he's like, it's trained, not tame. Yeah, and he shows that the fat gators, if you hit around his head and mouth, they have an instant reflex because they're ambush predators. They're not actually hunters.
Gotcha.
They lie and wait for something to go past that point, and they're more sensitivity in the front of their snout. That's how they feel around. But it doesn't matter the fact he's worked with that gator for like 17 years. If he got knocked in the head with a branch and came unconscious, he would eat him. If he had his hand too close to his mouth, the gator would eat his hand and have no compunction.
Yeah.
So as long as the rules are enforced, so if people don't jump around signaling the El Blanco, I am food. The fact that they're doing that, I liken this thing to a gator because like I said, I've watched a lot of this stuff now and I kind of understand them. They're fascinating creatures. And I would die instantly because I'd want to pet one. I just want to pet the puppy. That's why I can't work with wildlife because I just kill myself because I'm like, I'm the idiot that would pet bison. Do you know what I mean? That's me.
Yeah.
I just see a big furry or scaly puppy and I don't care how many teeth it has or claws. I'm like, you're gorgeous. I want to pet you. Oh, I'm dead.
You'd instantly turn into the third scientist from the last episode.
Yeah.
Let's go at midnight.
I want to pet the puppy.
Pet the puppy.
I am that stupid. Yeah, that'll be bad. That's why I can't work with wildlife because I'd be too complacent.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't be any fun anyway. If I'm having to deal with things at arm's length, that's not what I'm about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nancy and Mindy really soured me towards their characters in this episode. And Nancy even more so. She's been annoying me a bit. But this episode, she's come full circle. And a leopard can't change his spots.
Yeah, my only hope is that after the resolution at the end of this episode between her and Mindy, I'm hoping that there's some sort of character growth in the last few episodes where, Nancy, isn't as upset anymore. I'm hoping that was the reason why she...
Or maybe they're holding it off. Maybe not immediately 3 episodes. They're probably holding it off for maybe a season 2 or season 3 growth.
Yeah.
But obviously we're not going to get that, which is a shame.
Yeah.
This is still better TV. As much as I'm ranting and raving about this episode, this is still better TV than anything out there today.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's so much fun. Yeah. And nowadays, every TV show either has like a message or has like a dark point of view or like the bad guy is misunderstood. I don't know. It just gets repetitive, some of the themes that you see. So this is great just to go back in time.
It's not actual storytelling. They just want to preach at you. They want to wave slogans in you. It's 45 minutes to an hour of a slogan being waved in front of your face.
Yeah.
That's all it is, and that's annoying in real life. So why do you want to want your entertainment?
Right.
And the thing is, the chickens are coming home to roost because these companies are in the shit.
Yeah.
Like they're doing everything they can, all their spin, but eventually venture capital runs out. Unless somebody's funding these things as a loss,
Right.
It can't go on forever.
Yeah. I would have been curious to see that Kevin Bacon one in 2018. The trailer looked good.
Yeah, but to be honest, after watching this, we don't need, at least this didn't fall into the same trap as the Alien franchise of relying on Ellen Ripley or not being able to see past Ellen Ripley's character.
Right.
Yeah, this managed to move on.
Right. That's fair.
Which is, the universe is more important than the individual character. If you have a good universe and you don't need one individual character, like at this point, you could quite happily see a season or 2 down the line, Bert handing over to Tyler. You could see it, and you'd not feel bad about it.
Yeah, I would have still enjoyed it because I like all the characters, but man, Burt Gummer is just special.
Yeah, but this was setting up. Like if this had a chance to actually grow, and have had 5 seasons, you could see the torch being passed.
I would have watched it for sure.
Yeah, and you could see the torch being passed, and that's you wouldn't have felt bad because it would have felt natural.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because that is the life cycle of things. You know, you pass the torch, you get to a point, you get to a certain age, you pass the torch on to the next generation, they carry the torch forward. And the setup was here. It's just, like I said, it's just a shame that that's not going to be the way it turns out.
Yeah.
But I'm still glad that we're doing this now at the end of the movies instead of in between them.
Oh my gosh, if we had ended with Tremors 7, it would have left such a bad taste in our mouth.
But there you go. We'll have an episode with no Berghammer. That's, yeah.
Oh wow.
But no, and that's the acid test when you don't have the main character in an episode, can the side characters? And TV shows do that. Yeah, I mean that's been a test. Is can the TV show act without the main character? And they usually do an episode of that just to see what it'd be like.
It was like a test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the Babylon 5 episode actually that did it with the two janitors. And they told the whole thing from their perspective at the D deck. And the stuff was going on all around it, but they weren't involved in it. You know what I mean? They weren't in the bridge or anything. They're just doing their job.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I'd be down with that. Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? That's always a thing that you gotta if you're thinking ahead, you know, and thinking of longevity or something, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. But it's about that treating the main character with respect, that they'll stay on as long as possible, and then you've got the successor ready, but it's not a competition, you know what I mean? It's not a bitchy thing.
Right.
And then you've still got the main character who can come back as cameos. You know what I mean? Like they've been done. Like if you think of Airwolf back in the day when they handed it over to the finally found St. John.
I don't remember that one.
Oh yeah, it was a very final. In fact, even because it was like a soft reboot or a continuation, so they had Stringfellow actually found St. John, and then St. John took over the show, and it was awful. They did it so clumsily. Do you remember Knight Rider 2000?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that handover, it was like you just died of cringe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that wasn't even that one episode where they had some random actor in Val Kilmer as Kit. That only lasted one season because it was so shoddily done. No, I mean that's examples of bad passing on the torch.
Right.
But you can do it. Because I'm not a big TV person, but you've always seen like fantasy movies are usually a good one. You've got the old grizzled warrior hands or sword or something down to the new warrior and carries on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean, it's a trope as old as time.
That's life. That's life. So, being that we're coming up to the last 3 episodes, and the next time we talk about this will be after having watched them, and then there'll be no more, sadly. What would you like to see most in these
What
last?
will we do next?
Oh well,
What will we do next?
That's a great. Yeah, that's a.
It's a coming.
That's a great lead-in. Yeah. No, I was gonna say like just in the last 3 episodes, what storyline or what would you like to see happen in these last 3 episodes?
Here's the thing, though, because I'm not saying this as a conclusion. It's not like, oh, we need a cliffhanger or something. This sort of show is something that could actually go on forever, in theory.
Yeah.
As long as we've got, like, I don't want any massive conclusion. Like, I don't want the Mixmaster series to be brought to an end.
Right.
I like that to carry on as is.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I want to do. I just want to see more of the same.
No major like plot point, just more fun. Just more of the same. Yeah.
The Mixmaster whole saga and with the underground bunker, that's a good little plot, you know, dripped in now and again. It's not like today's TV where everything has to come to a crescendo, end of season, cliffhanger, ready for the next one. We don't need that.
Right.
I want Tyler to get a bigger gun.
That's fair.
Just because that thing is silly in this environment.
Yeah.
Or if he doesn't want to do a gun, get something that isn't a little pop, little 6-shooter pop thing, which serves no purpose. Why even bring it out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing in particular.
Okay.
I wanna see, because it's already happening. You know what I mean? This has been said. It's just going on and on and on. And I'm just happy with that. Do I want some sort of finale in the last episode? I really don't know. You know, because we don't need a cliffhanger.
No. That cliffhanger would actually be disappointing, knowing that it's
Yeah,
never
it'd be
gonna
silly, wouldn't it? I would just
paid off.
totally go against
Yeah.
the grain
Yeah.
of this. I'd like to see Twitchell do something actually overt to save the town.
And that would be a great
I would
pickup
like
of
to see, I think you brought it up as well,
yeah.
Twitchell actually protecting the town of Perfection from another government agency, but they don't know.
Yes. That would be very
If that
cool.
makes sense. We see a scene in the background where actually he could have all just been cleared out.
Yeah.
And the town taken over by government officials, and Twitchell does something, but he goes back and he just acts a normal way. And the antagonism's still there, but like El Blanco in the town, there's this symbiotic thing going on that they're working together, not against each other.
Yeah. I'd
like to see that.
I'll throw one out there, and I'm with you. It doesn't have to be a major storyline, and I don't want to see a cliffhanger knowing that it's never going to get paid off. But just as like a fun, episode, I would like to see where another Graboid comes in and is attacking the town, and El Blanco and it go head to head, kind of like a Kong versus Godzilla, and like El Blanco like saves them and fights another Graboid. I don't know. I just think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would actually. Yeah, I can see that. And yeah, El Blanco was just protecting his territory,
Yeah.
Or was he? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, that sort of thing. Yeah, that'd be fun.
These are the people that feed me, and you're taking away my food source and you're coming in on my territory. You could give it whatever reason so that it's not like a good puppy, reason. But I think that would be something fun like that.
Yeah, but it's that read between the lines. Yeah, everyone knows.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that'd be yeah. God, there's so much you can do with us. It's just such a shame that the way that they threw away gold.
Yeah.
And what they produced. Muppets.
Yeah.
But there you go. I wasn't as angry. I think I got all my anger out of my system when I was writing the notes. But I still don't. The series didn't piss me off. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like a deal breaker because they did it through the right lens as well.
Right.
But yeah, this is still far superior series than a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Great TV.
Good stuff. Yeah.
But there you go. Yeah, God, this has been longer as well. Flip's sake, how long's the 3-episode one going to be? Could be here for ages. But yeah, thanks everyone for turning up. Those that didn't join in the chat, but I see you lurking. Don't be afraid to say hello. We don't bite much.
Levi, thank you again. You add so much to the chat, to the stream.
Yep. As always, your expertise.
Yeah,
really appreciated. But there you go. That's it for another time. And just as we say, keep updated with the channel and do the type of clicky things. Until next time, keep it creepy. Keep it horrific.